don't get overexcited. Just take a deep breath. And don't compare him to ZywOo.
Okay. I've got it.
It'll be a good video. People will watch it. You don't need to go that far.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that kl1m is literally the next ZywOo.
Oh, damn it, King!
I've been watching young players for a long time, and I've seen a variety of different playstyles. Some players emulate simple, making aggressive reads and hoping that their flicks and their other mechanics can make up for their misplays. Some players want to be Nico, progressing through their pre-aims methodically to decapitate opponents. And some look like the next Waylander. Funnily enough, they don't end up in these videos. Rarely do I see a player who plays like this, as it's far from the most flashy or exciting style. It also takes a lot of quiet confidence that a lot of youngsters simply don't have. kl1m is not a player with a long, storied journey through Tier 2. This is a player only 18 months removed from playing open qualifiers with the team Anime Heroes, losing to world beaters Uganda. I picked up the kl1m story around the time he joined G2 Ares. Initially, none of their games had HLTV coverage, so sourcing the demos was a bit of a struggle, but eventually they began playing real officials, and I settled in to watch. And I'm going to be honest, kl1m didn't initially leap out at me. He would become known for his quiet 20-kill maps, where you didn't realize he'd been contributing so often until after the game and you looked at the scoreboard. Watching back his POVs, it made sense as to why. kl1m isn't doing anything wild. He isn't pushing every smoke, he isn't forcing every fight, and he's not being thrust into the midst of all the chaos. Instead, kl1m is in a bubble of certainty, floating around the extremities of the chaos being made, discreetly placing his thumb on the scale. We're going to dive into exactly what makes him so effective, so impactful, and so subtly exciting right after this. If you want to vote on who features on the next episode of Prospects, be sure to become a member and vote in the poll that's going to come up in a few days after this episode goes live. Members get access to bonus content like these videos, as well as the right to vote on things like this and a few other discreet little perks. So please become a member. It is the best way to support this channel. Every half of Counter-Strike played starts the same way, with a pistol round. I've always been highly invested in an AWPer's pistol play, as a pistol round is typically worth at least 2, and the pistol is the AWPer's go-to backup weapon. It's his safety net, if he misses the shot, or if he gets rushed down by enough players. The current meta dictates that rifle play now matters, the age of JDMs is over, but the pistol is still incredibly important. Thankfully, kl1m doesn't keep us in suspense, he absolutely delivers in the pistol rounds, always opening up the games in a positive way. Stable, steady hands allow him to deliver headshot after headshot in the pistol rounds, with efficiency and versatility that boggles the mind. kl1m has used the USP, the Glock, the P250s, and the dualies in various rounds over the last 6 months, whilst performing at an elite level with all of them. His worst pistol by rating 2.0 is the USP, at a still stupendous 1.33, and leaving him with a rating 3.0 in pistol rounds of 1.52. This makes him the second highest rated pistol player over the last 6 months on HLTV, minimum 50 maps, behind only his now teammate Insani. Now, just from an aesthetic point of view, I love watching kl1m's pistol rounds. I feel like he's going to get 2 in every single one, no matter the pistol in play. Also, specifically with the dualies, his controlled and smooth playstyle makes them look like a weapon of skill and finesse, a rare feat, even amongst those who have success with the cowboy Berettas. Now, his success on pistols does extend further into other rounds. It's not as noticeable, it's not as impressive, and I think some of that does come from our warped perception of pistol impact from players like Donk, who are just absolutely absurd, get about 100 ADR in every round, even if they have a deagle. kl1m's not that good, but he's still notably above the average when it comes to his deagle play, in half-buys, in force-buys, or as a backup weapon. Now, kl1m isn't in some big rush to get the big green out. This isn't another Molodoi situation. As I said, he's more of a ZywOo in that sense, so we do have to start with his T-side rifling. In about 58% of full-buy versus full-buy rounds on the T-side, kl1m has an AK-47 in hands rather than an AWP. Some of this is probably informed by the meta, but it's mostly due to the fact that kl1m is a monster on the rifle. His calm confidence we touched on for the pistol rounds remain, relying heavily on his pre-aims to do most of the work, as well as his anticipation of enemy positions and movements. What I love is that not only is he methodical, calm, does a lot of these sorts of high-level, controlled movements and pre-aims, but he's also really explosive when he has to react to something new appearing on his screen. He flicks his crosshair with unnerving speed, and it's really crazy to see that dichotomy between the slow, controlled pre-aim shifts and the absolutely insane flicks to the heads. This combination is lethally effective, resulting in an elite KPR and a 23% multi-kill rate that is at superstar levels. In these rounds, with a rifle in hand and a bomb to detonate, kl1m is rarely a primary aggressor. He prioritizes trading and closing out the round, a perfect use for his talents and composure. Across all his T rounds of the last 6 months, kl1m scores well in clutch points per round at a 0.06 and wins 1 versus 1s at an almost 90% rate, justifying his slightly baity style. A great example that I've found of his T-rifle style is Inferno, where you'll often see him sitting bottom mid in the initial default, not getting stuck in till much later in the round. Now when the big green does come out, it is a distinctive shift in his playstyle and his approach to the round. Most noticeably, his opening attempt rate goes flying up from 8% with the AK to 25% with the AWP. This is map dependent, as some maps he may even avoid the AWP entirely, and he has been reluctant on this MIBR project, but it was a trend across most of the map pool of G2 Ares that he would get noticeably more aggressive, or assertive really, with the AWP in the early round. Aside from this uptick, many of his priorities remain the same. Trade out teammates, find occasional frags in the mid round, and close out rounds with the cold determination of a T1000. It is a shame that he hasn't actually been AWPing at all on the T side with MIBR so far, and there have been opportunities. It's not just a map pool thing. He's played maps where in the past he's AWPed and just not brought it out yet. His rifling is dependable and effective, I get that. I just want to see the zoom banger being used to full effect. Let's take a peek over now at the defensive end, and this is where kl1m does his best work, not just on MIBR, but across all of his tenure as a player. We can touch on his rifles in a bit, they are shockingly effective, but we are here for one critical $4,750 reason. With an AWP in hand facing weapons from the T side, kl1m is ready, willing, and able to take them on head first. His 31% opening attempt rate in these rounds is reflective of this, and makes sense given his calculated approach to the game. CT openers can be found almost too easily by AWPs, and he is no exception. A 72% opening success rate is elite, and he finds his frags in a few different ways. A great map to watch for this is Train, an AWPing paradise, where he challenges the outer control from a number of slightly different positions. He's quite commonly found towards A doors or camera, whatever you choose to call it, looking to challenge the outer sight, whilst also providing that extra firepower towards Ivy. I think this is a key note. A lot of the places he plays, there's a quick rotation to somewhere else that could be challenged early or could need support. Great example, on Train, his other primary spot is that he likes to play towards Con, holding the edge of Electric for that part of the outer control. It's also a very quick rotation into B. Rarely does he like to play a spot that's difficult or laborious to rotate through. Like, he'll occasionally play on the side of the Trains more towards Ivy, but not as often, because your rotation back towards the Ivy tunnel itself involves going round the box. It's just not as pleasant a peak, the geometry's not in your favor. He does prefer to play it a bit further off, maybe give up a little more space, but take the safer picks. I find that his lethality with the AWP doesn't come from a great deal of ingenuity or variety in his own picks, rather his steadfast belief in his holds, whilst also playing around the utility that the T side uses. Often he remains unfazed in the face of smokes and flashes, just biding his time as he's certain he'll hit the shot when it's presented. And to be fair, kl1m has every right to be cocky, as he usually does hit the shot. His .92 KPR in full buy rounds on the defense speaks volumes in this context, as does his absurd 23.5% multi-kill rate. Another key point of focus for me is just pure efficiency. On a map like Ancient, his second best map behind only the unjustly removed Anubis, he isn't particularly aggressive early, mid, or late. Instead, he avoids silly deaths early with simple, easy win angles, and focuses on trading down the T side whilst his teammates take the aggro. These playstyle notes really explain how a player with a 127 rating and almost a 0.9 KPR over the last 6 months can somehow be known for a quiet 20. That's not exactly a subdued stat line, is it? He really does avoid those flashy picks, those difficult plays, those re-peaks that are not always warranted or encouraged, and instead settles for the easy shots, the easy trades, got a quite high trade kill per round rate, and then closes out rounds. In this sort of ZywOo-esque way, he's becoming one of the most effective players outside of Tier 1. Now, there's a kind of round that has never been more important than right now in CS2. Hero rounds. With saving being a big part of the game, an AWPer needs to be effective without a lot of support. They need to be a hard carry. In these moments, when his team has a half buy and kl1m has the big green saved over, he's been insane. A 1.59 rating, leading the team to win 50% of these rounds and showcasing how effective he actually is. He understands the assignment well, increasing his opening pick rate in these half-buys, asserting his will on the opposing team. kl1m knows how to carry a team, how to force the issue correctly when he has to, but he can also at the same time ride the wave and just allow the game to take him where it needs him to go. This is a great thing for a young player to be able to do. So, are there negatives? Any doubts in my mind? Over the course of his HLTV level career, he has played 4 maps against top 50 level opponents. Just top 50, not even top 30. Top 50 level opponents. That's not a lot. I know I don't need to say it, but still, that's really not a lot. Even in his career so far in Brazil, those 3 series he's played, he's not facing world beaters. He's not facing the best South America has to present, the best they have to challenge him with. So I expect him maybe in the future to take a bit of a hit. Maybe his numbers drop down a bit, his effectiveness, just when he faces stronger teams, better aimers, who are also more likely to punish the little things he gets wrong in terms of his alertness. This weekend at Fergie Rush, hopefully I've got the video out before that starts, that's my plan, we'll see how that actually goes. He will be facing the cream of the crop in terms of South American talent, and we can finally see exactly how he matches up with them. For now, what we have on demo is terrifying and brilliant. He plays a clean and safe style of CS, while still having the skill and the presence to win rounds for his team. This kid is definitely one to watch for the future, and I'm quite excited to be watching him right now. Alright, if you enjoyed, leave a like, leave a comment to me your thoughts on kl1m and his play so far. Remember that any interaction is appreciated, but also the best way to support the channel is becoming a member, so if you do, thank you in advance. But yeah, we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.